What's going on, everybody? Goofy Rexy here, and hope everybody is doing well. And as usual, we like to do every single patch, although we did miss last patch, but as usual, we like to do every patch. We like to talk about the best and the worst from the most recent patch here, and that's no different today. There's a lot of things that got introduced into the game, some new costumes, there's some new quality of life changes, some bug fixes that I really am happy with. There's some other things as well that I'm probably not a huge fan of, but we're going to go over all of it, guys. What's the best from the patch, and then also what's the worst from patch 6.0 as well. And let's get started, man. The first thing for me that really is a standout right now is the loading screen. From the moment when the update went live on Amazon App Store or whatever, well, even though you couldn't directly get into the game, at least you could download the update. You can log in and see this opening screen, and man, I don't know, it really kind of set the tone, right? So for this year, Apocalypse, we know is coming. We know about the Scourge events, but being able to see, there's so much detail that I can pick through right now that just makes me say, man, this was really solid, right? You got Morgan Le Fay, one of the horsemen. You have the silhouette, so basically, or the cloak over the other horseman in the background. So pretty much basically saying, hey, you got one already, but the other three you don't know about yet. And then here's Apocalypse. There's just so much detail that is involved with this. I got to give it up, man, to the art design team. They're really good. They're really good. They've created some phenomenal designs, some phenomenal character designs. They've created some phenomenal costume designs, which we're going to talk about next. But yeah, this was definitely really good. Even in game right now too, if you look at, well, number one, the background here as well, right? If you just go through the different screens and different slides, you see the background there, and then of course you'll see the background in the Blitz screen. So I actually liked the Blitz background too, and more so because they haven't really changed this much over the past, I think, couple patches. So being able to have sort of a different background in Blitz 2, I guess kind of spices it up a little bit if you're really into aesthetics, which I am. So therefore, hey, that's one of the things that really stood out to me in this patch. Now, the next thing for me, you guys know I always geek out about stuff like this, man. It's costumes. I really, really like costumes. A lot of the games that I play that are not Marvel Strike Force, I'm usually trying to figure out how can I get a better skin for a character. I get bored really, really easily when it comes to looking at certain characters. So I get bored with outfits that characters have on. So I like to spice it up and do different costumes. There's some standout costumes for me on this patch. The first one is the Polaris one. I really love this one. I don't know, like, of course I know we can't fully see the dump truck like we're used to seeing with this one, but we got some time with it before this one comes out. But this one right here is still a phenomenally sleek look. I mean, once again, the attention to detail, the design, the leggings, the fact that she has the long flowy hair in the bag, she looks a little bit more sinister and evil. Oh my goodness, come on now. This is a really good, solid design costume as well. I love it. I love it. I love it. The one that I'm looking forward to the most and getting right now is definitely going to be the Storm costume, right? I mean, this is nostalgic. This is like Stream's Queen. I absolutely love this. One of the things that I enjoy most about Marvel Future Revolution, I play Marvel Future Revolution still. One of the things that I love about Marvel Future Revolution is that I'm able to like dress up my characters. It's kind of like you're dressing up dolls, right? But I like that I'm able to kind of dress up my characters. And Storm by far has the best outfits in Marvel Future Revolution, and this right now is probably going to be one of my favorite costumes to get. I love this. There's some other ones. There's a Misty Knight costume, which I'm sort of indifferent to because I really like this sleek look. I think this look right here is probably the best look in the entirety of the game. You can debate me all you want, baby, but I like this look so much that any costume kind of has to meet the same criteria. And yeah, she looked a little bit more thick in this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. She got a little bit more junk in the trunk and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's giving me sort of like the Star Trek vibes a little bit with the little symbol on the chest. It's giving me some Star Trek vibes, and it's just not as good as this one. There's the Black Bolt one too, which is giving me the Spartacus sort of gladiator vibes. I'm not sure. I'm a big, huge fan of this one. This one is going to be available in the anniversary event that's coming up too. I don't know, some people do like it, and I can see why they would like it, right? I'm not a big fan of it, but I can see definitely why they would like it. The Moon Knight costume, I don't even know if I want to go there. I'm definitely not a fan. I understand that Marvel Studios is kind of giving us this look this year, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that look. But those are the costumes that I have that I took a look at right now that I really do enjoy. But yeah, what else? Right? So the anniversary event is supposed to be coming up sometime soon. There's actually a data mine, I believe, that showed some of the anniversary event and what that's going to look like. No, that's Doctor Strange right there. I may have not pulled up the data mine on it, but there's a data mine right now for some anniversary events. And really, I looked at the milestones here, and the milestones look pretty decent. So this is going to be part of it. Successful brew milestone where you can spend some cauldrons. They talked about in the data mines how you're going to be able to achieve and get those cauldrons, but there's some decent stuff in the milestone here. Not really towards the beginning, but there's some stuff towards the tail end. The one that really stands out to me though is this right here. So this is a new piece, the Superior Tempered Osmium. That's a new piece right now, which I've gotten 10 of them already from opening up orange elite orbs that I saved. I didn't get very good drops on my teal gear. I got 0 teal, but I got 10 so far. You're gonna need 61 of these pieces, right, in order for you to be able to upgrade Morgan Le Fay. So I'm happy that they're considering that and they're actually putting in these 25 pieces to be able to help out players. The rest of the milestones probably aren't that great, but that's 25 there. There's another additional 2. Last year's anniversary event was very considerate of the player base. So I'm hoping that this year that's going to be the same thing. We still don't have the full picture yet of the anniversary event. We can only see some stuff through the data mines, and I wish I had picked it up on to actually go over it, but that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to because the anniversary event was so good last year. I'm looking forward to that again. So I think that might be one of the best things from this patch. There were some other changes that they made as well. So some difficulty changes are coming with the new event campaign. I also did like that they are giving us some time on the Doctor Strange event campaign. I think we're kind of like 14 or 13 days away from doing the Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange is going to be the new event campaign character. I like that they're actually giving us a little bit of a gap there because we are literally just finishing up tomorrow, the Dr. Voodoo event. So I like that they've also given us a little bit of time to kind of accumulate back some of our cores that we've been spending for that event. But yeah, they talked about this new heroic difficulty and updated rewards. The heroic difficulty will reward teal gear, and completing the heroic difficulty mission automatically earns first time rewards for both the hard and the heroic difficulty. Now we did see some of that information here in this data mine right here, which talked about it a little bit. More importantly, the new heroic difficulty is going to be commander level 68, which means that although it's tougher and harder, it's not as challenging as probably what I would have expected it to be. Right, so they usually try to stay away from making it overly complex, and I really actually appreciate the fact that they decided to not make it something like level 75 or level 80. We'll see exactly what you need once we start doing the matchups, but I do like that they are at least considerate of the fact that they still want to be inclusive of most of the players that are in the game by only saying basically the recommendation would be commander level 68 at this point. So looking forward to what that potentially could bring. There's some other things too, removing the minions out of the Elite 6s and the Elite 7s. I still would like to see them make that change for Elite 5s at least as well, because those are still pretty hard to come by. You got to open up quite a bit of Elite 4s in order to be able to get the Elite 5. So would have still liked if they had probably considered that as well, but it is a nice touch and a nice change to be able to remove them out of the Elite 6s and the Elite 7s. So at least that will feel a little bit better as well. This one is a big one that they fixed that is probably one of the best things, although it should never have been a problem in the first place. But I guess I'll give credit where credit is due, right? Shuri's special ability. If a lot of you guys are doing Doom raids right now, you're going through those tech nodes, it sucks, right? It sucks when you lose Shuri because you want her to be able to have the defense up. You want her at least, even though her heals aren't superbly impactful, they're still helpful, right? So when you lose her, you kind of definitely do feel it, especially going into a next matchup where you don't have that defense up to start off, that 2-turn defense up to start off with, but then also being able to, so that she can, whenever she gets defense, whenever she does her special ability, she's supposed to be able to give herself ability energy as well, because every time when she gains defense up, she gets ability energy. Well, that was not working appropriately before, But now this has been fixed, and I tested this out already. I put it down to 1 speed just to make sure that she was getting ability energy whenever she does do her special. And yes, tested it out. It worked. It worked fine. It was able to help out with her cooldowns. The very next node that I went into, I was able to start off again with doing defense up, and she still gave herself ability energy again. So for me personally, this is a big fix, something that I know a lot of us were looking forward to, and very happy that this has actually been added back. This is something that they've actually gone ahead and fixed. There's also a data mine out there that Dagger is going to be going to the raid store. So looking forward to her actually being somewhat farmable, right? I mean, when you're talking about the raid store, it's still very touch and go. The character doesn't show up all the time, but it's a good change that they're actually also making Dagger available, but now you have to compete with Cloak. So there is some downside to it, but at least her shards will be more available, especially if you're someone that goes for opening up raid orbs. At least you can open those up now, knowing that, hey, Dagger is going to be in that store. I know that for a fact that when she does go there, that I'm definitely going to be opening up some raid orbs as well. And then this nice little quality of life change. This was me going into an RTA matchup yesterday and then realizing that there was the battle again button that you could click on, and this was really cool for me because I just want to be able to go in, do my 2 attacks, having to load back into exit the matchup, load back into the RTA screen again, hit battle again, kind of can be annoying sometimes. So if I'm going into an RTA matchup like I usually do, throw in a big character with 4 small characters, just to be able to get my 2 dailies done, hitting the battle again button to then go back into the next matchup without having to go back to that opening screen is actually something that for me, very quality of life heavy change, and I really do appreciate. But those are the good things that happen, or good things from the patch. Let's talk about some of the things that I'm not necessarily happy about. So yesterday when the patch started, I thought, hey, maybe it's gonna be like a simple hour-and-a-half patch, not a lot of things that probably really need to be discussed or talked about or updated or changed or whatever, right? But the game was down for 3 hours, and I'm gonna be honest with you, when the game came back after those 3 hours, I'm kind of like, why was this down for 3 hours? You needed 3 hours for this? Why in the world did you need 3 hours for this, right? I just didn't really understand it at all. There were a lot of players that missed out on being able to, cash in on campaign energy. They missed their campaign energy refreshes. Now you might say, hey, that's your fault, but people have lives and they work, and it's hard for them to log in exactly at the time when campaign energy refresh happens, right? So a lot of people missed out on campaign energy. There were some players that missed out on arena payout time. So really the game being down for 3 hours really kind of just, it sucked. And then what happened too with the Apple Store, it exasperated it, right? So the Apple Store had their own issues where there were some outages and some downage. So therefore, even when the game came back, there were some players who still weren't able to log in because of the Apple Store. So that just that exasperated it. I would say, not Scopely's fault specifically, the Apple Store, but that still definitely created some frustration for those players as well. But then this is one thing that I just have a real big gripe with right now. And it's the fact that Scarlet Witch, yes, she got an update. Yes, the stat updates are good. Yes, some of the kit updates will also help out the remainder of the team. But the fact that she just didn't get anything else really kind of frustrating to me right now. Like, listen, I think her kit is solid for the team. I think it's going to be helpful. She can extend negative effects. That's going to be helpful, right? She can apply these buffs, the offense down, the defense down, the slows. But the fact that there was nothing additional to her passive ability was a little bit of a letdown. I was hoping that, hey, maybe they were just keeping that really close to the vest. They didn't want to share that information because it was so powerful. But in reality, no, it wasn't the case. They just weren't planning on adding anything else. And the reason why I think Scarlet Witch is still a usable and viable character on the team, the problem for me is that when I look at other reworks that they've done, like Gamora, right? We've looked at other reworks that they've done to like Miles and Spidey. I feel like those reworks were better. And when you look at the comics, Scarlet Witch being such a powerful character in the comics, I just expected her to be more on par, I would say, probably with Morgan Le Fay, right? Or maybe not as good, but just a little smidget less, like more, even like more of a plug and play character that you could probably use, or just phenomenal on the team. Right now, she's kind of, in my opinion, like the fourth, fifth best on the team right now. There's really, I'm gonna find more value. She's probably the fifth best character on that team. Will she be helpful? Yes, but based on just the comics, based on other characters that they've reworked in the game, it's still a little bit of a letdown to me that they didn't do more for Scarlet Witch to make her a little bit more powerful. Those are kind of my thoughts where that is concerned. Also, the web store was down, right? That's another thing that happened yesterday. The web store was down. It was down for quite some time. I mean, really, I don't understand what happened there. We expect bugs, but it wasn't as much of a buggy patch. I will say this, wasn't as much of a buggy patch. So maybe I'm being a little bit more nitpicky, but there were players who couldn't log in and then also buy Doctor Strange if that was what they were looking to do, or whatever, claim items. They weren't able to do that because the store was down. So a little frustrating, especially like I said with yesterday also being exasperated by the long 3-hour downage. Like, why is it now that the web store is not working? And then of course, not their fault, but it did exasperate the situation was Apple also having some outages too. So web store being down definitely kind of was a frustration point. One of the things that I will say I'm going to add to this list here is, while I do appreciate some of the quality of life additions that they did make, there's still one that I really would like for them to consider. And it's the sliders on the orbs right now. Right now, I'll pop this, but right now I'm looking at some of the orbs that I have available, mainly the blue the ISO store right now. I cannot keep up with this. I gain so much of these on a weekly basis. I cannot keep up with this. And there are some days where I come in, it's like 140 of these, and I'm like, okay, I gotta pop these now, right? But it's just so frustrating to come in here and have to click on them individually. I would like for there to be some sort of a slider where I can spend 10,000 of these or 20,000 of these at once, right? Instead of having to go and click on them individually. So that would have been one of the quality of life changes, and I would really have liked to see them make in the game. It's really, really, really frustrating that I'm not able to do that right now. And I think that they probably should have put a little bit more emphasis and thought towards something like that, as opposed to some of the stuff that they did add, right, for quality of life. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's not helpful, but they talked about, save squads and hiding save squads and item counts in the store and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, but what about the freaking orbs, man? I can't tell you how many of these I have too. Like the Blitz store, the purple these purple orbs, purple gear orbs. Dude, I'm never opening these. I'm not gonna open those individually. What the hell? Give me a slider. I actually wouldn't mind opening these because I don't think that I need to hold on to these for any reason. So I wouldn't mind opening these right now. But there's just no incentive for me to do it because it's just going to be me opening up. I'm not going to individually sit here and open up 161 orbs. You got to be kidding me if that's the expectation. But yeah, another thing too that I wanted to talk about is the addition of Madeline Pryor to the game right now. Was, to me, she's an okay character. She's definitely going to help out the team, and she's going to be a good, I think, addition to the Marauders. Now, I don't think they're going to make them top tier echelon of a team, but they're gonna be a challenging team, especially when some of the global rooms are down because of the resistance, and it's going to be hard to kind of get through Strife again because he increased the health on him, and then of course he's getting the additional barrier, the charges with the higher resistance. So therefore, I mean, it's going to be a little challenging, right, to be able to get through that team again. However, her war defense character being the last character, the fifth character reveal, kind of a little bit of a letdown. Just wasn't really like that exciting, right? I mean, she looks cool AF though, by the way. Just like, and comically, she just looks so, she's like, her story's pretty dope. And the whole Goblin Queen thing, I mean, it's great. Like, I really like that, but her being the fifth character reveal, a little bit of a buzzkill. I would have preferred maybe it would have been a little bit more hype and a little bit more exciting from a marketing perspective if they had given us Doctor Strange Heartless and then given us Wong right towards the very end. I probably would have been a little bit more excited about that. Last couple of things here. Cosmic Crucible. There was no update on Cosmic Crucible. We didn't, at least for me personally, not being added to this patch is okay for me because I don't think that it's necessarily ready yet to be added this patch, and I'm okay with this having to push towards a Scourge event. Cosmic Crucible would have been something else to do. However, there still has been really no messaging on when it's actually going to be coming to the game. I know that they're probably going to focus a little bit more on the anniversary event. This patch is probably the reason why they don't want to add Cosmic Crucible yet. Those are my thoughts on it. And probably also they want to make sure that they release it correctly, because RTA kind of flopped. They don't want Cosmic Crucible to flop as well, because they do understand that that is going to be a big portion of why players decide to leave or decide to stay in the game. So I do understand why they're kind of holding off on that a little bit, especially with all the stuff coming in this patch already, like Scourge event and of course the anniversary event. So I do understand that, but no information on it, what they're doing, when is it coming, still kind of a little frustrating. Also, last thing, this is a data mine that popped up yesterday. Now, I'm not giving too much credence to this as of yet, and the reason why is because data mines sometimes don't really give you the full picture, but this is a data mine that popped up yesterday for Apocalypse that talked about that shows the unlocked star level at 7 stars. And I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think that the 7-star unlock most likely is just them thing that you can unlock him at 7 stars, because right now in game, if we pull up the Marvel Strike Force page on, let's say, Morgan Le Fay, when they talked about, okay, I gotta click here and then I gotta go over here, right? To unlock him at 7 stars, you're most likely gonna have to be somewhere in the difficulty 10 range, right? I doubt that they're gonna say that, hey, we're gonna need to get our characters to gear tier 19 plus in order for us to be able to unlock a 7-star Apocalypse. I just don't see that happening. I think this data mine is more of something that's probably just, hey, you can at least unlock him at 7 stars. Those are my thoughts on it. If they are saying that he's going to be a 7-star unlock, boy, would they lose a lot of players at that point. Boy, would they lose a lot of good faith in the game, because you're going to introduce this new big bad. You're going to dangle this carrot in front of us with Morgan Le Fay and then the other 4 Horsemen characters, and then you're going to tell us that in order to be able to unlock Apocalypse, you have to get to G19. Just don't think that's going to go over well. So I'm not panicking about this yet. Interesting to see exactly how this works, but those are my thoughts, guys, on what I think probably are the best and the worst of patch 6.0. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. What do you think I probably should have added to this list that I didn't add? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say here, but some interesting stuff. Would have liked some more quality of life improvements. Some of the costumes look really good. I'm looking forward to the anniversary event. I think Shuri's special being fixed is probably my favorite thing out of the entire patch, because seriously, that's really a frustration point for me right now as a player. But yeah, I mean, those are kind of my thoughts right now on a lot of the things that's going on here. What are your guys' thoughts? Want to hear that? If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so that you know when my videos do go live. Check out the links down below in the description. My Discord, Facebook, Twitch, where I do stream Marvel Strike Force content on a weekly basis. My Patreon, another way to support the channel there as well, guys. So take a look at that, guys. Love you guys much. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. They better not be releasing no 7-star Apocalypse. Mutiny coming. I'm running away! 7-star Apocalypse, are you kidding me?